Hello Game of Thrones freaks and geeks, and welcome to The Word from Westeros, the Game of Thrones recap vlog exclusively produced for AllGeekToMe.net. I am Kait Calabro, and this is my show, and why yes, I'm coming to you from a different spot this episode because this is what happens when you are a mess after binge watching, binge reading, and working on your Brienne and Ginger Wildling fanfic. So before we start chatting all about the bastard letter and Dany being a completely badass queen, here is your water cooler recap of Season 6, Episode 4, The Book of the Stranger. After impressing the High Sparrow with her knowledge of his weird-ass religion, Marjorie is granted the rights to visit her brother Loras, who proves just to be a little spoiled punk and begs his sister to give up. Great. Great advice for Marjorie. Cersei and Jaime cook up this master plan which involves the Tyrell army taking down the Sparrows, not the King's or the Lannisters' army. Great. Theon makes it back home to the Iron Isles where he pledges his loyalty to his sister, saying that he will not challenge her for the throne. Ramsay kills Osha, which only surprised Osha. Tyrion tries to make peace, but just ends up pissing off everyone pretty much in Meereen. So, I mean, things aren't going well for Tyrion either. Man bun rocking Jon Snow is packing up his room in Castle Black when Sansa arrives, and there's this cute little mini reunion, and then Sansa kind of just tries to convince Jon to come back to Winterfell and march on Winterfell and take back their home. Jon's not having any of it until he receives a pretty awful letter from Ramsay. And now civil war will start in the north, and it's all exciting. Woo. Dany further proves that she is literally the baddest bitch in all the realms when she sets fire and kills all the cows, and everyone, all of the Dothraki, just bow down to her. And it was fucking awesome. So, I mean, I think we can totally all agree that the females fucking owned this episode of Game of Thrones. Between Dany giving us some major throwback vibes from previous seasons by like just burning everything down, killing the people that were like standing in her way, and then having all the extra people just literally bow down to her and be like, yes, you are like our messiah. It's pretty much what the fuck she is to these people. Major like ice and fire comparisons right here between these past two episodes. Ice being Jon waking up from the dead and having everyone at like Castle Black freak out and be like, oh my god, is he a god? Fire, of course, being at the end of this episode when Dany steps out of a burning building and be like, yeah bitch, what are you gonna do? So I mean, total ice and fire comparisons right there. With that all being said, I mean, it was really like a very strong Sansa Stark episode, which just leaves everyone just being like, Sansa, you are the fucking queen of the north, just take it. Who cares what Jon's doing? Which is pretty much what she tells Jon, who's being a little bit of a punk ass bitch, being like, I don't want to fight anymore. And Sansa being like, listen bro, I've dealt with dudes telling me what to do for way too long. Either you're gonna come with me and take back Winterfell, or I'm gonna do it by myself. And part of me was like, just do it by yourself, Sansa. You don't really need Jon. But then I was like, I love Jon and I want him to take back Winterfell too. Which is what eventually happens thanks to the notorious missing from season 5 pink letter / bastard letter is what they call it in this episode from Ramsay Bolton to Lord Commander Bastard Jon Snow. You can check out the full Ramsay written letter. It's up on my Twitter. Game of Thrones tweeted it out as like the prop for what Kit Harington as Jon Snow read in this episode. If you want to check it out, see exactly what happened, how he phrased it in his weird rhyming. Ramsay tries to do like this weird rhyming thing and it just was awkward and didn't work out and didn't really flow properly. But I mean, no surprise. Yeah, so the pink letter was something that a lot of fans freaked out about during season 5. The pink letter is supposed to be given to Jon before he is killed by his traitor brothers from Ramsay. And the main reason is, in the book, the brothers are pissed off because of the wildlings, but they're also pissed off because Jon finds out about what's going down at Winterfell and wants to take the brothers there to take back Winterfell and to fight Ramsay. And you're not supposed to do that as a Night Watch. You're supposed to forget all about your previous family, give them up, and not deal with any of them. So that also contributes to why Jon was murdered. And fans felt like it was kind of only one-sided. The murdering didn't really make sense of Jon Snow because it was just because of the wildlings. Whereas in the book it was because of the wildlings and because Jon wanted to take back Winterfell. Now, this comes after Jon has been reincarnated, Sansa's there, and it's kind of just telling Jon that, like, hey, I have Winterfell, I have your little brother, if you don't give me back your bride, if you don't give me back my bride, meaning Sansa, I'm going to come after you, I'm going to rape her, all this kind of awful stuff. And it kind of sets this complete, like, a little bit, not really a major fire under Jon's ass, but it upsets him enough for when Sansa's like, listen, like, see what he's doing, we gotta go, and Jon's fine, like, yeah, okay, he does, like, he doesn't even say, he just, So they're going to go storm Winterfell. Now there's some fan theories that have come out this week regarding who actually wrote the Pink Letter / Bastard Letter, saying that Ramsay actually didn't write it, that it was that dude that brought back Rickon to Ramsay to kind of get, like, Jon amped up to come back to Winterfell and to start this whole war. There's even a theory that, like, Sansa wrote it to, like, to get Jon on her side. She was like, oh, I'll write this letter, but Sansa didn't know Rickon was there, so, oh, sorry, that was my pad. Sansa didn't know that Rickon was there when she left, so I mean, she could have got that information, but I don't think Sansa wrote it. The dude that brought Rickon could have wrote it, but I'm pretty sure this was Ramsay. And let's just believe it was Ramsay. Like, let's not, there doesn't always have to be a theory every week, guys. We can just let it be. Just believe what they're actually telling us. I know it's so hard for people. It's so hard for fans to actually just believe what is being told to them on the show. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to say that there was, like, this one moment, because every episode I have to talk about R plus L equals J at some point. There was this moment when Sansa and Jon were by themselves, and Sansa was asking Jon to forgive her for all the years of her being, like, a mini Catelyn Stark to him. And Jon says, oh, of course I forgive you, and we're gonna stay together, because if your father found out that I let you go by yourself, he would come back from the dead and kill me. Which is weird that he would say your father, because technically speaking, Sansa and Jon are supposed to have the same father, which is Ned Stark. So part of me is thinking that maybe Jon had a revelation of who he truly was during his moment of nothingness that he said was there. I mean, wishful thinking, but like I said, I'm just going to keep talking about Rhaegar Targaryen, Lyanna Stark, and Jon Snow's relation to them until they give me the end of the Tower of fucking Joy flashback. So another week without a Tower of Joy flashback that actually tells me fucking something, besides the fact that Ned Stark wasn't really that good at sword fighting, because I don't really give a fuck. He's dead. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of The Word from Westeros. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to AllGeekToMeTV on YouTube so you never miss another episode of the show again, and also check out the other cool geeky content that we post up on the page. Immediately following watching this video, head over to allgeektome.net to read my full recap of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 4. There's a lot of words in it. There's also a lot of GIFs. It's fun. Go read it. I mean, if you enjoy reading things. If not, just watch this video again. I don't care. Do you. You can follow me on Twitter at Kait Calabro for up-to-the-minute Game of Thrones information, and also check out what other cool stuff I tweet out throughout the week between Game of Thrones episodes. Game of Thrones airs Sundays at 9 p.m. on HBO. And remember, until next time, you either win or you die.